Like, remember when your mom bust your ass? Getting up out of bed. Rude Jude on the All Out Show. It's Judy. Yeah. Just sitting here with John. This year for Halloween, I'm thinking about being a non-player hater. International non-Italian hater. Either that or I might dress up like a leprechaun and go to a gay bar and call a bunch of gay people faggots. Nothing too hard. Causing an awkward silence. It's fucking hip-hop music bullshit. You remember when your mom would come in and splash water in your face, get you up out of bed. Wear my Illuminati hat, my Cartier's refits. And I went down to this guy said he had some real Carties, and I went down there to the flea market and ended up buying about 4 pairs of leather pants. Welcome to the Dollar Bill Show, episode 41. I watch a lot of motivational stuff on YouTube and different preachers like Charles Stanley or like the Master Key teachings from Napoleon Hill and stuff from C.S. Lewis and even some of Billy Graham. And this AI is like fucking out of hand, dude. There's pages and pages and pages, I mean, that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they're all false teachings. Like I'm sure you've heard it, where it's like an AI of Denzel Washington's voice, like saying some shit that he never said, and these preachers like that now they're doing it with Charles Stanley and Billy Graham, C.S. Lewis, Napoleon Hill, all of them, and like it just pisses me off because that they even let these fuckers that are doing this get away with this, and they're making money off of a scam, dude. They've got to end that, especially like Charles Stanley and Billy Graham, and there's like all of these videos are about manifestation and stuff, and like they never fucking taught any. Charles Stanley never taught anything like that, but I swear that to me he's the greatest preacher of all time, because like he never asked anybody for $1, and like he lived forever, and it was just because he was a straight up good dude, and he followed his calling to God, and he let God make the decisions, and that's what I'm all about too, is like when I don't know what, I can never see the path in front of me, and it's like, and I might have days where something doesn't feel right, so I'll sit and pray, and he's been a great teacher to me of that. He found his way that same way, and it's just a shame that that they are doing this because it's really like tarnishing their legacy. And I mean, he was a doctor of this, and he brought the teachings of Jesus to every country in the world. And now to see these fucking greedy fuckers.
Also, this must be what the Bible speaks of when it says false prophets.
It's not right.
Wow.
You ever notice when people are reincarnated, it's always a famous person. It's never like your Aunt Millie or your fucking racist Uncle Buck or anything like that.
Reports of a 75-year-old Cuban national who died in ICE custody. He had lived in the United States for 60 years. He was being held in ICE detention in Florida. Is there anything you can tell us about that? There's still not a lot of information, how he died.
I'm unaware of that. I'm not aware of that. Okay. I mean, people die in ICE custody. People die in county jails. People die in state prisons. I mean, if you look at, when I was ICE director and we drilled down that, the question should be how many lives does ICE save? Because when they go in detention, we find many with diseases and stuff that we deal with right away to prevent death. So I'm not aware of that specific case, but I'll say this. People can argue with me all they want, but the facts are the facts. I think that politicians in New Jersey found this out, that we have the highest detention standards in the industry. I'll compare an ICE detention facility against any state prison, against any federal facility.
That's like comparing a fucking cat turd to a dog turd right there, because if you go to these fucking places and knew what it was really like the shower and shit that you have to use, like I wouldn't even let a fucking duck swim in it. It's trifling and it's sad and it's inhumane, and these places need to be shut down, and we need to figure out a better way. And when I got locked up, I was such a fucking wreck, man. Like I was a people pleaser, and I was physically and mentally abused by my family, my mother and father, my sister, fucking. And then that went on, because that's all I knew was to like walk on eggshells and fucking cater to everybody, and so I found that in my marriage too. That's what I found. That's all I knew. It's like it almost seeks you out, and and then I was a caregiver for my son, and it was like I was alone with my son a lot, and because of the mental, physical, and weird sexual stuff that had happened. To me, I was scared to death of my nonverbal son being abused, and I didn't even trust family members to be alone with him, and I did everything I could and took every pill that I could to try to put a Band-Aid on a big Grand Canyon of shit until it all imploded, and it was just this, all kinds of weird stuff went down. Like supposedly, I'm a security guy and I'm always protecting people. And supposedly that the man who did the Pulse nightclub shooting, like that night it's like I made a beeline to St. Petersburg, Florida, and stayed on the beach. And man, all this weird shit happened to me. And like, Trump reported something about a fucking terrorist attack, and like I got a notification that woke me up from his Twitter when that happened, and I was like all messed up, losing my shit, and I got that notification, and at the same exact time at Fort DeSoto, right there, they were having their Wednesday drills or whatever day of the week that was, and I opened the thing and there's like Apache helicopters everywhere, and then something just wasn't right. I knew there was somebody there to hurt people. That's what I knew. And I had my gun, and like I fired warning shots into my own door of my hotel when I locked myself out. I was like fucked up, man. But supposedly the man who did that Pulse nightclub shooting was over there on that night and was going to kill people that night. And it was literally like I had some sixth sense about this. And, you know, and then I see now that, like, what all happened to me, it really was like Jesus intervening, and he took me away from all of these people that didn't give a shit about me and were using me. And then he put me in solitary confinement next to people that cared about me, gave me food when I was indigent, and I had all kinds of money, but my people wouldn't even send me my wife wouldn't even send me money and stuff like that. And so I was indigent in there, and Jesus separated me and in solitary confinement, and like I had to beg them for like 15 days for a Bible until they finally gave me a Bible. But before that, the guy next to me, who ended up being my best friend in there, we would talk through the vent. He gave me a copy of the New Testament, and he couldn't read, and but we made do, and I taught him some things, and he would rap too, and we both rapped, and like I taught him to read and write a little bit just by doing that, because he had rhymes like in his head, you know what I'm saying? And he had dope hooks and stuff like that. And so, you know, even though it was like hell on earth, God used everything to my advantage, including exposing the people that didn't care about me once they could no longer use me and stuff like that. And and that was like, I thought I had 100 friends and family and all of this stuff, and it was only like a handful of people that you know, would show up like angels with like $20 in my commissary here or there. And like, if you've got people that are locked up, man, fucking you know, and it's just like all them people, I forgive them too, but you ain't gonna hurt me again. And like even Diddy, man, I put fucking a card in him. I sent him a Christmas card and shit because God put that on my heart to do. Because I watched, you saw what happened. The whole world like turned against him, man. And it's like, you know what? He may have done some freaky deaky shit, but he's a human being, man. And for us to judge his sins and all of that, and you know, it's just, it's a mess. And I think that they were just trying to cover up all their corporate greed. And he had a company called Revolt, so it's like there's a lot of people that probably didn't like that, and also a powerful black man. So what do they want to do to somebody that's in power? They want to, any kind of man especially, they just want to like, you know, if a man is called gay or feminized in any way, then he's just like made to look weak or whatever. And then also,
I grew up in an environment that was dysfunctional. I remember seeing my father sell dope, my uncle sell dope. Guess what? Little Garcia sold dope. I see my father go to prison. My uncles went to prison. And guess what? Little Garcia went to prison. I was 17 years old in 1990. Well, it wasn't until 2014 when I found myself in a little death row cell. I was taking 15 pills in the morning and 15 pills in the night. I remember crying out to my homeboys like I used to in the past for some help. Nothing happened, sir. I remember crying out to my family. Nothing happened. Then I remember crying out in the name of Jesus, and boom, something happened to me. It was like 1,000 pounds fell off of my back. And for once I had that peace that surpasses all understanding. I took that hope back into the men right there in Seg. From then on, God says, you no longer are a murderer. You are a conqueror, you are an ambassador, and you are an overcomer by the blood of the Lamb and the words of your testimony.
And I'm just, see, like, I could always do this, but it was all preparation, this show right here. I remember going to the radio station here locally and trying to get on and telling that lady I was going to be the next Howard Stern, and she fucking laughed me off of the steps. And I said, you wait and see, like that. And for anybody out there, if you're feeling down and you feel alone, ask Jesus to come into your heart and take over your life and save you. Get on your knees and pray to him, and he will. And, you know, I was in there in hell on earth, and there was times when I was at the most peace I had ever been in just because of the situation that I had got pulled out of. And it was all a blessing in disguise, and I see that now. And God bless you guys. I love you, and have a good first of the month. Thank you.